The warm days of summer. Time for one of America's favorite traditions. Played with a bat, a glove, and a hard white ball. Some of America's finest collegiate and 18 and under stars have gathered to test their skills in a matchup that will showcase many of the top prospects in the MLB first-year player draft. The USA Baseball Prospect Classic is next. And welcome to the USA Baseball National Training Complex in Cary, North Carolina. It's the Prospect Classic, pitting the collegiate national team against the 18 and under national team. It is day 2. Neil Solondz joined by Jonathan Mayo. And yesterday, Jonathan, it was a 12-1 win in favor of the collegiate national team. So what do we expect tonight?
Hopefully a little bit more competitive content.
Well, this collegiate national team facing the 18 and unders has some youngsters who certainly enjoy wearing the red, white, and blue. And Nolan Fontana played on the collegiate team last year.
It's an honor, to be able to put on this USA uniform on my chest and wear it. It's a great honor, and I'm extremely proud of it.
You have to be to want to play back-to-back seasons, especially after the grueling campaign they had playing in the championship of the College World Series, right, Jonathan?
He and Brian Johnson, it really says something about this program here and about those two young men as well. I think a lot of players, after playing that long and coming up short, mind you, if they won, all right, let's keep the good times going, but they lost the College World Series. A day or two later, they were back and playing and evidently building sandcastles.
Well, they build it pretty well, too. I mean, you got to have some skills to play on the Team USA, right? You might as well have some ancillary skills.
There must be some architecture majors in that group there.
Or architecture majors to be, perhaps. Or at least some guys who've been on the beaches in California. Speaking of which,
better bet.
We've got a Californian on the hill. The fourth pitcher is Hunter Virant. And Virant is a left-hander. We have gone from a righty to a lefty to a righty to a lefty. And Virant will be facing Devin Marrero, Chris Elder, and Josh Elander at least in this fourth inning in a scoreless ball game. Virant is a terrific young athlete, and again, one of many Californians on the roster for the 18 and under national team, or those vying to make it. And you get a look at some of the West Coast kids that are playing in the national trials, and many of them slated to play in schools in the West Coast if they don't start their professional careers after they're done in high school. So far, we've seen 2 good fastballs from Virant to get ahead 0-2 on Devin Marrero.
Yeah, that UCLA staff would be fairly ridiculous if all those pitchers ended up attending there.
Sharply struck ball, though, by Marrero on an 0-2. Maybe got a little too much to the plate.
Looked like it did. It was up a little bit, and he was not fooled at all. Although Virant does have very good stuff. He right in his wheelhouse, and Marrero was on it pretty much from the get-go and did what every hitting coach wants you to do, hit it right back up the middle.
How about this? The fourth inning before the collegiate national team gets their first hit of the night, and it's their first leadoff base runner. So we'll see if they can take advantage with Chris Elder, the number 3 man up, and they're going to try and bunt for a run here, or at least to get a runner into scoring position. Elder walked his first time. Again, he's the 5th-year senior from Oral Roberts University. He had a pretty big hit in the NCAA tournament. He had a grand slam in the regional off TCU in a first-round upset. The guy on deck now on his team is from TCU in Josh Elander, as he's now behind in the count 0-2 after missing the bunt attempts.
I'm not really sure as to why a bunt would be on here. I know that they haven't been hitting the ball, and maybe it's just a case of wanting to see how he can perform in these circumstances. But your number 3 hitter, a guy who has hit some home runs in some big situations, has some power, to have him try to lay one down in the 4th inning with nobody out, I don't quite get the strategy there.
Well, talking to Tim Jamison, I think he knows that the team they're facing next, Japan, and I saw many of the youngsters from Japan here watching. I think they expect that Japanese team, that they're going to play a 5-game exhibition series, parts of North Carolina and finishing up in Omaha, where the College World Series was once again this year. I think they feel they have to play some small ball, and finding out who can best play small ball for them is probably pretty important, and they'll see if they can get 2 after the bunt was unsuccessful. And it's a 4-6-3 double play with a nice turn by a guy who played center field yesterday. Shortstop Mikey White showing a pretty good arm on the infield.
And he is a better infielder than he is an outfielder. Played there more. Very nice exchange. Got rid of the ball in a hurry to get eldered by maybe a quarter of a step.
So the 4-6-3 twin killing. I think probably the most impressive thing I've really liked tonight is we don't have a miscue on either side. A clean game in the 4th inning. We had only 1 error yesterday.
Don't jinx it now.
Sorry. Josh Elander up against Hunter Virant. Virant is from California. We told you he's from Camarillo, California, and that is the same high school as Delman Young, who was a #1 overall pick in the draft.
And he plays the outfield when he's not pitching, just like Delman Young did in high school, but his future is going to be on the mound. You don't see projectable left-handers who already have a good feel for pitching. And a lefty, he can run it up to 93 miles an hour. He's got a pretty good slider, already a good feel to a circle changeup that's got some good sink and throw strikes. It's a good combination for a young pitcher.
And again, he will throw 1 inning tonight. Not only does he play the field and he pitches, but he is a quarterback in football and a shooting guard in basketball. You don't find many 3-sport athletes in this day and age because so many kids are specialized now.
Especially in California. I think you're more likely to see a guy who plays multiple sports if he, is playing in Massachusetts or Eastern Pennsylvania, because you can't play baseball during the winter. But he could be playing baseball year-round, and it's a testament to how athletic he is and what a natural pitcher he is. Sometimes those guys that play multiple sports, they don't have the feel that some other guys do because they're not focusing only on that sport all the time.
Good breaking ball to even the count on Elander, the cleanup man. Now 2 for 5 with a double and a triple in the first or the 2 days of this Prospect Classic. Good fastball. Strike 3 called. Every pitcher so far has thrown a scoreless inning for the 18 and unders. Everyone has a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 4th in the Prospect Classic. We are scoreless. You're watching it on MLB Network. Still scoreless in the Prospect Classic on MLB Network. Neil Solondz, Jonathan Mayo, and the 3rd member of our team, Jock Jones, with the Collegiate National Team head coach, and Tim Jamison. Jock.
Hi, Tim. You got a pretty solid team over here. Are they where you want them to be at this point in time?
Well, we would have liked to have been around each other a little bit more, but at this point, we feel like we're playing pretty well. We just need to find a way to score some runs tonight.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Neil.
All right, thanks very much, Jock. Certainly the pitching has been terrific tonight, Jonathan, in day 2. It's been a completely different story than day 1 when we were really in, I wouldn't say blowout mode, but the Collegiate National Team really took control of the game yesterday fairly early.
I think 12-1 is blowout mode.
All right.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. It's I know you're trying to tread lightly, but that's what it came down to, and everyone has to go through that.
Alex Bregman, known as a power hitter, trying to show off his wheels, but Josh Elander able to make the play, and the bunt goes 2-3 as Bregman, who grounded into a double play his first time, is retired in what was a fairly good bunt.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Just needed to get it down the line a little bit more. I think it hit that dirt and it slowed it down a little bit. And a very nice job by Elander bouncing out and making that play fairly easily.
Joey Gallo popped out to the catcher his first time. Elander made a couple of nice good plays defensively. You can see why he can also play the outfield, because he's shown pretty good range, pretty good wheels for a catcher.
Yeah, he moves well. I think his future, or let's say he's more valuable as a prospect behind the plate, obviously, because if he can swing the bat the way he's capable and as a catcher, the demands or the expectations on his offense won't be as high once he gets to the pro level. If he moves to a corner outfield spot, that raises the bar in terms of what he'll need to do with the bat to be a successful everyday major leaguer.
Such a hard position now to find guys who can play that every day and play it well. Obviously the injury this year to Buster Posey, who is becoming one of the rising stars in the game.
Yeah, and you see a lot of guys who swing the bat well get moved. Royals prospect Will Myers, he was doing okay behind the plate, but they moved him because they didn't want to ruin his development as a hitter.
Gallo grounds out 3-1 as Brian Johnson, who can pitch, pitches it to the pitcher covering Eric Anderson. And we've got 2 down here in the 4th inning, and really both teams are rolling in terms of their pitching staff. Anderson has gone all the way so far, and he's picked up a couple of double play grounders to help him out. And that's now 8 outs on the ground, along with a couple of strikeouts. So he's recorded 11 outs, and only, well, not a single one has gone out of the infield because there was a foul pop to the catcher, Elander. Nelson Rodriguez has prodigious power. We'll see if he can get a hold of one against Anderson, who hasn't really left many pitches up.
No, he keeps everything down, and that's what Tim Jamison said before the game. If he's right, he works quickly, he throws strikes, he gets ahead, and he gets guys to hit the ball into the ground. And the game plan is working so far tonight against the 18 and under team.
On a very warm, muggy day. I mean, temperatures in the mid-90s throughout much of the day. And Jamison getting to see his pitcher on his college team at the University of Missouri fare well on a national stage, using his breaking ball to draw even. And a sharp pitch to Nelson Rodriguez for his 3rd strikeout. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning. That is 8 straight for Anderson. We've completed 4 in the Prospect Classic Day 2. Collegiate National Team nothing, 18 and unders nothing on MLB Network.